Yo, what is going on? It is Chris Waters. I am joined by friend and co-host Brian Butler. What's going on, man?
What's good? What's happening, everybody?
Another day in paradise here in the good old United States of America.
For sure.
Welcome to the Red Line Briefing. It is episode 3. Episode 3. We're going to
Is
kick it off. We've got a great show lined up for you. A bunch of fun stuff we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and let's rock down this list we've got here. First off, across the pond, Keir Starmer steps down from prime minister, which is crazy because that's what sixth, seventh guy in 10 years that
Yeah, man, I've lost count.
just can't do it. Just can't seem to take control, take charge.
Yeah, man, they can't. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a country the size of what Rhode Island. It's not literally, but almost. It's crazy, man. It really is.
Next, we will talk a little bit about socialism on the rise here in the States. Touchy topic, but one that has to be covered. Got to talk about it all, man. So that's one we'll definitely dive into. There's interesting interesting takes here in the US, especially from Gen Z. So we'll go over that. Another one that has come up recently is Tucker Carlson, man. He is creating waves yet again. And some interesting topics and points to cover there, especially his thoughts on the Republican Party and Vance, for example.
Absolutely.
A lot to cover there. Next, listen, folks, if you build something and you don't pay the builders, what do you think is going to happen? Right. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and paying your bills. Right. If you contract somebody to do something, they fully expect to be paid. So Obama, pay your bills. We'll talk a little bit on this episode about the Strait of Hormuz. The traffic is remaining active. That's great. So hopefully we will see some relief at the pump soon worldwide. That would be great. So we'll talk a little bit about that. One big thing that's finally happening, we're seeing some indictments and crackdowns in healthcare fraud, which is great. As someone who used to work in the healthcare industry, I'm excited to see some movement finally, from the
Yeah.
DOJ on that.
This isn't. Yeah, this isn't some mediocre one or two people either. We're talking about this is a almost 500 person indictment spanning 45 states.
That's right. It's insane. Like we're going to cover this in detail, so be ready for this. And one other thing we can also talk about is the price gouging at the pumps. Something that Trump was talking about earlier is all of the price gouging. And I'll tell you what, as someone who lives in Florida, we see the price gouging during hurricane season, especially, after a major storm. We're not the only state that sees it, but it's a shame that they're able to take advantage of the situation. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what it is.
yes. So, what are you going to do? Right. I mean, horse and buggy. I don't know.
An idea.
Where you're at. Do you see many horse and buggy?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So Lancaster County is right next to us, and that is basically the Amish capital of where we are. And yeah, it's you could go any time of day and you'd see at least one or two.
That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into it. First, we have Keir Starmer stepping down. He has officially resigned as British Prime Minister. So, here's a quick breakdown of what he accomplished over the past 2 years. Let's go over this. You ready?
Let's do
So,
it.
he has allowed an Islamic third world invasion of the UK and the destruction of Western civilization. Let's just call it like we see it.
Yeah,
What else?
without a doubt, it's way worse than that. I mean, honestly, it's increased government censorship. They've made it illegal, literally, to criticize the government or really anyone online. God forbid, yeah, you can't talk about anybody. Basically, the police will literally show up at your door, and they're not going to fine you. They're not going to ticket you. They're going to take you to jail.
Do not pass go. Do not collect
Yeah,
$200. You are going. That's one reason why I'm like, you know what? I'm good over here. I I don't have to go over there. I don't know. I just as a proponent of the Second Amendment, concealed carrying, the freedoms we have, I would feel naked over there, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's a
Without a
shame
doubt.
too because the history, the culture, and everything that it once was, I don't know. It's a shame. I'll tell you what's also a shame is that they have restricted religious freedoms for Christians. That's a huge deal. That's a huge red flag. They've ostracized white people as racists and bigots. I mean, we see that everywhere, and I think that's been
Yeah.
around since the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting worse.
They've contributed to a large scale of government cover up with the Pakistani rape gangs. That's huge. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of video evidence. I mean, there's so much going on around that. We're probably not going to touch a lot on that, but that is one of the accomplishments of this now former British Prime Minister. I mean, look, the list goes on and on, right? I don't know. He's leaving his party just as he found it, politically, financially, and morally bankrupt. I don't know, man. That's enough about the UK. We're gonna bring it back over to America. Now, unfortunately, though, we're something that I've seen a lot more recently, is how Democrats now prefer socialism over capitalism. We've seen it in New York. We've seen it for years in California. Definitely seen it in Chicago. We're going to touch on that later. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. Without a doubt, they're basically, the Socialist Party now. Let's just call it what it is. It's hard to even refer to them as Democrats anymore. JFK would be probably rolling in his grave. They are not the party that they were, at one time at all.
Check this
Okay.
out. This is from CNN earlier.
Marxism and socialism, right there. Favorite capitalist.
Dude, that's unbelievable, right?
It is. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think sparked something like this?
And I honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's just been such a change in the way people think in general, especially that younger demographic, like high school kids today, man. It's I think it's the worst with them, honestly.
Yeah. No, and you could bring that all the way back to indoctrination, through public schooling, through colleges and private schooling. I mean,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of can't get away from media, man, talk about Tucker Carlson, man. Funny because, as somebody who really likes his nicotine product, it's a shame 'cause it's like, man, do I want to continue to support? But I don't know, man. There's a lot to say about about Tucker.
Yeah.
He he's wishy washy.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, honestly. I like Tucker. I think he's a good guy.
He changes
He
his
changes a
views
lot.
like we do our
Yeah.
socks,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And like for example, what is it, a couple of days ago, he's like, I'm not gonna, vote for the Republican Party again, blah blah blah, being like this, but then he goes on Alex Jones, right, talking about, oh yeah, I'll support JD Vance, as the next president. I don't know, man. That's the guy cracks me up. I don't know if think about this, right? So his dad was what, pretty high up in the CIA back in the day, right? What do you think? You think maybe he told something on his deathbed about the Middle East or Israel or something, and like he's on another level, like that we just
No,
don't.
honestly,
What do you think?
he would be more dialed in on one specific thing. He's too all over the place for that, to be honest with you. He's
Makes
just
sense.
very yeah, I don't know, dude. It's kinda like, he has political ADHD is the best way I know how to describe it, you
I
know?
like that. That's pretty good. Check us out. Here he is. Got old Alex Jones, man. Dude, he's something else. Did it share?
No, no, nothing played, yeah.
Oh, man. Should've said something.
There you go. I thought you were trying to load it.
Well,
It
well,
makes
you said
And the war's his fault. Golly, man. Old Alex Jones. Boy, what are your thoughts on that one?
I again, I think he's all over the place, man. Next week he'll be back to not liking him, then he'll be who knows, man. He might be a Democrat by, election day. Who knows?
Wasn't he a registered Democrat for like 15 years, 20 years?
Sounds right.
It just went back and forth. I don't know. Yeah, dude's nuts, man. But hey, look, speaking of nuts, so how would you feel, man, if you owned a company and did a bunch of work? You got payroll to make, you've got vendors that you've got to pay for product, and then all of a sudden, the person that contracted you just don't pay your bills. I'm sorry, it doesn't pay the contract. Doesn't make that final payment. What do you do?
Sadly, it happened.
In this case, what do you do? Sue the former president?
Yeah, that is a little different. Yeah, man, and we're not talking about a couple 100,000 or 30,000. We're talking about $850 million. I mean
So
that's
$850 million total cost, right? It was early estimated at $330 million to build. So what is that? That's $520 million over budget. So you're what, 130, 140% over budget. How does that work? How does that work? Who pays for that?
that's
You
what I
know?
want to know.
So looking at it, and I'm gonna play this clip because it's just sad. I feel for this man. I feel for the families, but he makes some good points. So I'm gonna play this clip. Dude, ain't that something?
It's insane, man.
Think about this. You own companies, right? Like you go out and do the work. Like, what do you expect to do if somebody doesn't pay the bill?
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about that.
Tell me,
No,
talk to me.
no, I need to be quiet. I've got a couple situations like that we're actually dealing with right now. I will. I'll say something about one of them. So, a lot of my wife and I, we own a trucking company, one of our businesses, and part of our contracts with our drivers are when at the end of your employment, you bring our equipment back to our yard, you park it, in the condition it was when you left, basically. Okay. And we've never had a problem with that up until this year. A few months ago, we had a couple decide that they were going to quit, not tell anybody, drive to Michigan, park the upper north and, peninsula of Michigan out in the middle of nowhere and just leave our equipment there, not say anything to anybody for a good little while. And, you know, oddly enough, thinking that would be a one-off, had the same exact thing basically happen this past week. Had a guy who lives in North Dakota, literally 10 minutes from the Canadian border, bro. 10 minutes from Canada. Dude parked our truck at a truck stop up there, calls it, yeah, man, I quit. Here's where your truck is. You can come get it. What? But like, yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with people. I really don't. But like, yeah, it's not cool, man. It's not cool. It's not professional. It's not.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
not,
I'm not
man.
here to wish anybody, ill or anything. But that's just karma. Karma's a bitch. That's all I'm gonna say.
I hear you.
Karma.
No,
Karma's a bitch.
I get that. It's crazy something he spoke about, like, well, there's a number of things, right? So the construction budget for this 330 cost 850, right? Um, there's contracts and there were deals with the city of Chicago, right? Like, for example, there was a 99-year agreement. The Obama Foundation promised a $470 million reserve endowment fund, which means the Obama Foundation, it's a nonprofit, they've got to
Yeah.
go out, they've got to find that money, they've got to go.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be a safety net. That was
Exactly.
specifically so local taxpayers in the community there wouldn't be stuck having to pay for this basically.
And guess what? As of
Wah, wah.
as of last month, I believe, there was less than $1 million that had actually been deposited into that fund out of $470 million. So what does that mean? Well, that's more taxes that the city of Chicago's got to pay, and it's unfortunate, right? And it's not fair to all of those contractors that aren't getting paid. I also thought it was kind of funny too that Juneteenth, which is June 19th, falls on the same weekend as Father's Day, and did this in Chicago on this weekend. I'm going to leave that there. I thought that was kind of funny. Also, fun to note, in Chicago, 7 people killed, 38 shot, 24 separate shooting incidents.
One weekend. That's just spanning 2 days, people.
That's
2
just
days.
Juneteenth, man. That's just, that's a holiday weekend, right? So, one individual shooting alone had 12 victims.
Wild West, man. Wild, Wild West.
Yeah, like all I got to say is, thank God I don't know. There's no reason for
Yeah.
me to ever go to Illinois. I'd never plan on it. My wife watches this. Don't ask. We're not going to Chicago. I've flown through there on business, but like it was literally I never left the airport. I had no. The only reason I would probably ever go to Chicago is to drive by the original Home Alone house. Literally, that'd be the only reason I would want to go. So, yeah, I don't know. It's funny though.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz.
Let's do it, man. So the traffic remains active. They're cleaning up mines. Problem is, it's not gas prices are not catching up with the strait being open, which is most unfortunate.
It's definitely going to take some time. It's not going to be an instant relief. You're not going to see, gas prices are not going to drop 70 cents, in the next 7 days. It's just not going to happen.
It'd be nice, but yeah, it's wishful thinking. But I don't know. It's crazy. Here is the if it'll load, we'll see. But pulling up marine traffic. I'll tell you what, it was a lot cooler when we could watch it. Also gets this loading. That's so funny. Yep. So anyway, not gonna watch a spinning wheel. Sorry, chat. Mm. But it is good to see that they are moving. West-east movements dominated while vessels continue to use a mix of Iranian, Omani, and IMO route patterns through the checkpoint, which is good. And the strait appears to be operational under the U.S.-Iran framework. So we'll see what happens, in the 60-day window. Hopefully we keep moving. Hopefully we get some lower gas prices because I drive a freaking truck, man, and it's $100 a tank, and
Yep.
that gets
Amen.
expensive.
Yep.
So I don't know. What about you? Well, what's your gas prices look like up there?
Ooh, they are under $4, and I just had a complete
How's that?
brain went dead on that. I want to say, I'm going to tell you, I should know this.
Well, while you're looking, I'm going to play
No,
this.
you're good.
I found this
407 a gallon. Excuse me. Right now, the statewide average is
407.
407.
I think we're down like 380, something like that. But I have
Nice.
to take a look. I found this interesting. Well, we're getting the spinny wheel. That's awesome. So after launching the DOJ investigation, Trump calls out by name the oil companies. So Exxon, Chevron, Shell, and BP
Mm,
all
all
being
big boys.
called out by the press for price gouging. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but they need to come down. That's all I'll say about that. That's a lot of them.
We should be admired.
$2.25 is what he'd like to see at the pump. I would too.
I would too. I'd love it.
You know, I don't know, man. I'll run a tune on the truck, man. I can't run premium anymore, so I have to, tune it down. It's horrible.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right, let's jump into this. This is good. This is huge, man. DOJ just charged 455 people for healthcare fraud.
A lot of people.
Yeah, it's not only common folk, but it's also doctors they're getting after, right?
It's about time.
But yeah. So we'll read through this here. So we've got 455, right? So I'm going to try to read this kind of like a comedic monologue. So the DOJ just charged 455 people in healthcare fraud. 455. At this point, our healthcare system sounds less like medicine and more like a heist movie with copays. They're accused
Man.
of more than $6.5 billion in fake Medicare and Medicaid claims. That's B, billion with a B. When your billing hits billions, that's not a typo. That's a business model. And this isn't just shady strip mall clinics. At least 90 are doctors and medical pros. While you're stuck in the waiting room, they're out test driving Maseratis and shopping for beachfront property. Somewhere, a guy built wound grafts like he was wrapping patients in solid gold. The DOJ grabbed around 180 million in cash and toys, houses, cars, probably a few gold faucets.
Lord.
We thought we were funding grandma's blood pressure meds. Turns out we were financing luxury resorts and jewelry collections. So yes, good on the DOJ. But if hundreds of people can siphon off billions, the real diagnosis isn't just fraud. It's that the healthcare system doubles as a crime scene with a customer service line.
Sadly, it's not just, healthcare. It's any kind of government, I don't want to, say handout, but realistically, any kind of government handout. Unfortunately, SNAP benefits, sadly, same thing. Really, any government, benefits. I'm feeling they're going to find a lot more of this the harder they look.
No, absolutely. I agree. And, like this is the tip of the iceberg, like the Quality Learning Center. That was just the tip of the iceberg. This is going to be the same thing. Honestly, that's a true bipartisan point for me, man. I don't care who you are, who you vote for, what you do in government. There needs to be some new rules set from fraud to insider trading. All that needs to be cut out so we can actually govern, do what you're
Absolutely.
duly elected to do.
Yeah, if you get elected to Congress and when you arrive at Washington, D.C., and your net worth is, $160,000, and by the time you leave DC, 14 years later, your net worth should not be, $20 million. Something's not right there. That doesn't math up. Like it's just
That is correct. You know, I don't know. That's a huge hit. Like what do you do? What do you do? They say that you can't fix stupid, but you can vote it out. I mean, to an extent, but in this case, there's a lot of people voting it in. That's another thing too, as far as back
absolutely.
to the socialism and the Democrats. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on. We've got soccer going on. We've got the FIFA World Cup. Have you been keeping up with that at all?
I honestly haven't, man. What's been going on with it? You watched it?
Well, let's see. The standings are good. You've got let's see. Oh, wow. In Group A, Mexico is leading right now with 9 points.
Mm,
So that's crazy. Is the US still in it? Let's see. USA, number one in Group D, 6 points.
nice.
So that's great. Germany's leading in one.
Stay tuned. We've got the big game coming up. The big game is coming up next Saturday, 4th of July, right here in Philadelphia, where Team USA is going to face off against Great Britain.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to be
Going to be
watching
the
here down at the
revolution.
Waters
Yep.
compound. So it's going to be a lot of fun. What are y'all doing for 4th of July?
Yeah, we've got to help out with.
What's that?
We help out put on. We help put out our city's little celebration we do every year. So we're going to be doing that all day.
Well, that'll be
Yep.
fun. Yeah. Is there anybody
Yep.
local listening? Tell them about it or?
Nah, they all know it's yeah. You know, Wrightsville Riverfront Park, July 4th, 4 p.m. until fireworks. Be there or
Be square.
not there. I don't know where else you would be.
I'll tell you, we have an awesome spot down here. There's one spot in Tampa, North Tampa, if you want to call it that. There's one spot called Armature Works,
Okay.
and you can technically see 3 separate firework shows at one time.
That's kind of cool.
3 full produced professional fireworks shows at one time. It's sick. And then if you're in the right place, on the Gulf side, you'll see St. Pete, you'll see Clearwater. Those are 2 massive. I think St. Pete Beach does one. It's massive, right? Like, just the spectacles you can see, especially if you're on
Nice.
boats down here. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we got sprinkled with pellets one year. Me and a buddy of mine, Jamie, we were on a boat as they were hitting the fireworks off at Clearwater Beach. It was awesome.
It's awesome. Sounds awesome. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah. No matter where you are, definitely get out, do something. It is you know, America's birthday. It's a big one.
Absolutely, 250, man. We're turning 250. Oh man, it's Elon Musk. Have you seen him? He's actually talking about the Save Act. What are your thoughts on that, man? The Save America Act.
I think they need to hurry up and pass it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let's see. Let's check out on it. What are we waiting on? Who's blocking?
No, I'm just reading, some of our live notes over here. My wife just made a comment. We aren't allowed to have fireworks at home anymore.
Why not?
And I'll tell the story while you're looking that up. It's just making reference to an incident, I'll call it. We had my first year up here. We went to our little fireworks show. We came back and we had bought a couple fireworks and we went in the backyard to set them off. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I may have accidentally shot her with a firework.
Whoops.
Yeah, literally the canister fell over and
Allegedly.
ding, straight at her. I'm talking like she still actually has a burn mark on her shoulder from it. I kind of feel bad about it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Allegedly. I can't find it. Oh well.
it's all good.
I'll leave it for another one. But shoot, man, we're gonna go ahead and end this one. It's been real, it's been fun. It's been
Absolutely.
episode 3.
Remember, don't believe everything you hear on the internet, including us. Stay safe, stay informed. Try not to end up as next week's headline. We'll see you next time, assuming we haven't been canceled.
Where can they find you?
You can find me online at the President and CEO or Facebook.com/R Brian Butler.
That's right. You can find me at Redline Briefing Chris Waters all over the interwebs. We've got our new X account up too. So if y'all want to follow us
Absolutely.
at let's see, at Redline Briefing. Yeah, man. Hey, look, we've got all 4 posts. But yeah, Redline Briefing. Look us up. We are on X. We are.
You're everywhere. Yeah, we are everywhere. Like we're basically everywhere at Redline Briefing. No, you're you're on social media. Look for us.
Look us up. Give us the like, subscribe, follow. Leave us a comment too if there's anything you want to hear us talk about. That'd be awesome. We'd love to talk about it with you. One of these days, we
Absolutely.
may even turn live chat on. We're going to start streaming soon here in the next few episodes, so stay tuned for
Absolutely.
those. Make sure you turn your notifications on too.
Please, please, please.
There we go.
Broadcasting somewhere between fact, fiction, and government paperwork. I think that's it. I
No,
think we're out.
no government paperwork. No more government paperwork. All right, guys. See y'all. Peace.